your starting lineups. First for the visiting Blue Streaks. Number 3, graduate student midfielder, Cam Ciceri. Number 5, senior attack, Morgan Morrell. Number 11, graduate student defender, Jake Caress. Number 13, freshman attack, Colin Morrissey. Number 19, freshman midfielder, Nicholas Yema. Number 22, senior attack, Matt Berdziak. Number 23, senior defenseman, Brendan Hine. Number 29, senior defenseman, Sam Rogers. Number 44, senior defenseman, Connor Ryan. And number 77, senior goalie, John Gaglio. John Carroll is coached by Joe Rautenstrach, assisted by Tim Edwards, Ben Clemens, and Griffin Buzek. And now for your Yellow Jackets. Number 2, senior midfielder from Westlake, Jonas Aquila. Number 4, junior attack from Medina, Jake Nanoski. Number 7, freshman attack from Pickerington, Ohio, Bennett Trout. Number 12, freshman midfielder from Worthington, Nate Hoover. Number 11, senior defenseman from Manhattan Beach, California, Neil Randall. In the nets tonight, number 34, senior from Louisville, Joe Storner. Number 42, senior defenseman from Butler, Pennsylvania, Adam Blows. Number 45, senior defenseman from Medina, Clay Kolke. Number 50, freshman attack from Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania, Riken Geiselhart. And number 88, senior attack from Pittsburgh, Kyler Byerly. BW is coached by Tony Tatro, assisted by Mike Perino, Rory Jeffers, Tyree Schewel, Bill Schmolt, and Mike Nanoski.
Coming to you live from Baldwin Wallace University. Welcome to our live streaming coverage of Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jacket Lacrosse. Brendan Gulick with you, the Yellow Jackets and the John Carroll Blue Streaks tonight here in Berea as they get ready for what often is the premier game in OAC lacrosse during the year. It's not always the case, but many times that is the case. These two teams have certainly been among the top of the OAC for several seasons now, and both come in with, frankly, pretty darn good records and playing quite well recently. Jackets are in gold. John Carroll is in navy as we get underway tonight. Blue Streaks 5-1 on the year. They've played really well, especially lately. Gosh, could they have been any better in that win over Wilmington? 26-2. They absolutely rocked the Wilmington Quakers the last time out. You could certainly anticipate that was their best performance of the season. They've played really well throughout the last couple of weeks, but I'm not sure they've had quite a performance just like that one as BW takes their first stab offensively tonight. The John Carroll Blue Streaks led 10-1 at the end of the first quarter and 16-2 at halftime. And they scored 10 more goals in the second half of that game this past weekend. Just an unbelievable performance against Wilmington. And they got goals from a lot of different spots. Matt Berdziak, probably their best overall offensive option, scored 6 times and added 6 assists as the Jackets strike first. Jonas Aquila from the left-hand side. Morgan Morrell had 4 this past weekend. Ian Vennard scored a hat trick. Colin Morrissey had a hat trick. And Vinny Fiorella had a hat trick. So they really got guys playing at a high level this past weekend. So a 5-game win streak for John Carroll as they come to town to take on a Yellow Jacket team that's played easily just as well and maybe a bit more impressive on the defensive end of the field. Baldwin Wallace has won 7 in a row after starting the season 0-2, the second of which was a 1-goal loss at Kenyon. And they were competitive against Denison, who's very good. But the Jackets dropped that opener 15-5 And since then, BW's played outstanding and had a fantastic performance against a Muskingum team that Tony Tatro said earlier this week was the best he has seen Muskingum at all in his time coaching at BW, whether as an assistant or now the head coach. And a big 15-6 win over the Muskies really lifted the Yellow Jacket spirits. BW has gotten a nice showing so far this season offensively from 4 different guys. Aquila just scored his 15th goal of the year. Nanoski and Olin Ferguson also 15 goals each. But the team's leading goal scorer is freshman Bennett Trout out of Pickerington North High School down in the greater Columbus area, as that shot goes just a little wide left. First shot of the day for Aiden Dugan for the John Carroll side. Starting lineups, let's give them to you, and beginning with BW here, who comes up with a nice defensive stand. Obviously, you know Aquila's in there after that opening goal. Jake Nanoski, Bennett Trout, Nate Hoover, Neil Randall, Adam Blos, Clay Kolke, Riken Gieselhart, Kyler Byerly, and the goalkeeper tonight is Joe Storner. For John Carroll, Cam Ciceri, Morgan Morell, Jake Caress, Colin Morrissey, Nicholas Yema, Matt Berdiziak, Brendan Hine, Sam Rogers, Connor Ryan, and the goalkeeper for the Blue Streaks, 7th game of the year, John Gaglio, a senior out of Rochester McQuaid Jesuit. Neither team really could get the ball out of the midfield there. And here come the Streaks up this side. Colin Morrissey held it for a second on the right-hand side and says, all right, let's just reset things before forcing the issue at all. 3 guys have had really good offensive showings this year for John Carroll. 19 goals for Morell. He's also got 13 assists. 14 goals, 12 assists for Berdiziak and Colin Morrissey. Double digits in both columns, too, 15 and 10. Tanner Gill Snow, keep an eye on him. He usually plays pretty well coming in off the bench. All right, so JCU taking its time. Still got 30 seconds on the shot clock. About 3.5 minutes into the game, BW scored on its opening possession, leads 1-0. To the far side here, Bernard just holding for a moment. Matt Russo out of Canisius. Good ball rotation. Good quick shot, but wide of the mark from Bernard. Looks like it'll stay with John Carroll. They get to it before it flings its way out of play. Actually, not the case, all right? Not only did the Streaks get to it first, but then they intentionally passed it out of bounds so they could reset. You get the impression that these two teams are certainly prioritizing defense on a night like tonight. I think they both recognize how potent offensively each other can be. And considering the familiarity they've got with one another, especially late in the year when it comes OAC tournament time, both sides certainly know they can't give away possessions and have to do all the little things right. As Ian Sheely comes charging in the right side for BW. This is Hunter Boehm. Tries to spin back to his right, takes a quick shot, but misses well wide of the mark. Jake Nanoski the closest to it, so stays down here, 34 on the clock. John Carroll coming in with consecutive wins over Colorado College, Rhodes College, Grove City, Ohio Wesleyan, and the game we talked about to open the conference against Wilmington. They did have some close games aside from that big blowout over the Quakers. BW rattles one off the bar. Good try, but Sheely misses just off the side of the cage. The Streaks get over to it. Clock's inside 10 minutes now, first quarter. Jackets lead 1-0. Yeah, the opening games of the year for John Carroll outside the league, they played some good teams for sure. I mean, Colorado College and Rhodes College are known for being very good. Let's see if Byerly can make this count. And he does. With a flag in the air, Kyler Byerly doubles the Jacket lead. It's 2-0. Tenth goal of the year for Kyler. Flag is waved off, and the Jackets add to their lead. Anyways, Colorado College and Rhodes College are both really formidable programs. Commendable for the Blue Streaks to go out and try to schedule some tough out-of-conference teams on that spring break road trip, and then, frankly, to play Grove City and Ohio Wesleyan, who are traditionally pretty good in this region. To beat them 15-12 and 11-7, I think, certainly a nice sign. Boy, that's great effort from Ethan Hinkson. The Jackets just couldn't quite hang on to it, though. And on the flip side, if you're BW, you know, they also put together a pretty tough schedule. A common opponent, obviously, in Grove City. They had almost an identical win, beating Grove City 14-12. But the Jackets had awesome defensive performances against Southern Virginia, Barry, and Transylvania. And then they followed it up with a great win against Allegheny. In fact, in BW's 7-game win streak, take the game against Grove City out of the equation for a second, where they allowed 12. BW hasn't allowed more than 7 goals in a game outside of that 12-goal performance from Grove City during this win streak. So they have played really well defensively. And Tony Tatro knows that this is a group that came back with a ton of veterans on that side of things. He was the defensive coach before he took over his head coaching role. So those are, in a lot of ways, those are also his guys, right? And he takes a lot of pride in that group performing well. John Carroll gathers it back in here. 8:06 left first quarter. Jackets lead 2-0. Dugan dumps behind the cage, trying to work it around. Moritas, beg your pardon, that's actually Morrissey, unable to hang to it. Of course, John Carroll is the 6-time defending OAC champions, having beaten these Yellow Jackets the last couple of years in the OAC championship game. 10-4 last year, 12-6 2 seasons back, and both those games were on this field. BW is primed for a big run here in 2023. As a flag goes flying, I wonder if it's going to be an offsides call. In the meantime, the Jackets maintain possession, so no matter what, you know it's a foul against the blue and gold. Good explosiveness to his right from Hoover, and they pulled back. Gieselhart looks to his left. Aquila denied. Good cutter in the front. And then a pass toward Jake Nanowski goes out of bounds. But 2 flags on the field now. And it is offside on John Carroll on the first foul. I'm not sure if there was a second violation or not. One of our referees is making the note over at the scores table. And I guess they threw two flags for the same foul. Admittedly, didn't see the one on the far side right away. So that's all you got to deal with, and the Jackets have a man-up opportunity. It's a big day for Yellow Jacket goalkeeper Joe Storner, because John Carroll is the number 2 most efficient offense in the country. They shoot it 37% successfully. Now, some of that might have been padded a little bit from this past weekend's big performance, but still a very talented and efficient offense. Jackets are trying to pass faster than JCU can rotate. That's good defense from the long stick. Shot clock's at 30. On the flip side, Baldwin Wallace, pretty darn good offensively too, but it's their defense they're hanging their hat on. They are a top 11 defense in the country. Just over 7.5 goals per game allowed. Over 200 teams compete in Division III men's lacrosse. Jackets running out of time, and they throw it away. Boy, that was really good defense from Joe Rautenstrauch's JCU side. 7th year for Joe, leading the program out of Canisius. 2013 graduate up at the Jesuit school in Buffalo, as the Jackets are going to get called for a foul. Richie Roskoff drew the ire of 2 officials. Under his tenure, John Carroll 78-24. Pretty darn impressive after, frankly, they went through several coaches on almost what it felt like a yearly basis as they were kind of getting their program started. Now 7th year for Joe, and he's really done a nice job. 5 OAC tournament championships, a couple of regular season titles, 5 NCAA tournament appearances. Good quick shot, wide of the mark. Storner never had to get a stick on it. So the Jackets will go down a man here. Other thing that's impressive under Rautenstrauch's tenure, for the first time, John Carroll actually won NCAA tournament games. It seemed like they made it somewhat regularly prior to his inclusion in the program. But once he took over, they've gotten to the NCAA tournament 5 times now. It's every year in his tenure, excluding the COVID year, where JCU only played in 4 games, that shortened season. But in 3 of the 5 previous seasons, they won a game. Hey, that's a great shot. Nicely done. Tanner Gill-Snow, goal number 9, and it's a 2-1 affair. 4:59 to go, first quarter.
Assist goes to number 5, Morgan Morrell.
All time, the series is fairly well split. Jackets have lost 8 of the 13 games. And a false start on JCU. So Yema runs off, and the Jackets have possession. Yeah, last year, these two teams split their meetings. I mentioned the 10-4 OAC championship game here, but it was the 9-8 regular season win at John Carroll that helped BW clinch an OAC regular season championship last year. It was a big win. Olin Ferguson scoring with 3.5 minutes left, put in the game winner, and lifted the Jackets past the streaks. That was last year on April 20th. Teams are meeting a little earlier in the conference schedule this time around. Ferguson held it and dropped it. And now Jacob Hooksum, grad student from Ada, Michigan. Waits for everybody else to catch up, and here we go. Turns out it's actually pretty comfortable in here in Berea right now, although certainly cooler. Game time temp 36 degrees, a little bit of breeze blowing both from left to right and a little from near to far side of the field. It was gorgeous this morning. Temperature was in the mid to upper 50s. And then for about 2 hours, we actually got some wintry weather. Rain, snow mix, very windy, but didn't precipitate nearly long enough for it to stick. And the temperature didn't drop enough, but there were some snow flurries. Vinny Fiorella forgot the ball. He was ready to take the shot, and as soon as he pulled a stick back, he dropped the ball. Trout, boy, he's had a good freshman season. I wonder if he might be one of the next really impressive goal scorers in team history. Off to a great start. Meanwhile, a mistake for the Jackets away from the ball on the other side of the field, and they turn it over. BW leads it 2-1. We've got 2 minutes and 54 seconds left in the opening quarter. Russo holding. Kind of waiting for the rest of the team to join him out on the field. And here we go. At the start of the night, these two teams are tied for second place in conference play behind Ohio Northern, who's also having a great year. That's a really good defensive effort from Declan Tubbs, who had it whacked out of his stick. Good physical play in the middle of the field. Jackets scoop it up. Good work from Roscoff, who immediately lost it. Well, you get the impression both guys are sliding all over the place. Finally, it rolls out of bounds, and they give it to BW. Here's Aquila. Try to give you some updates from around the league tonight when appropriate. Mount Union is at Marietta. Nicely done. Here comes Ciceri. Long run up the right side. Absorbs a couple of hits from Gieselhart. 1:06 to go in the first quarter.
1 minute remaining in the quarter.
Big deep breath for the Streaks offensively. Another bobbled pass from Vennard there. Ohio Northern's already pounded Heidelberg today, 18-1. So the winner of this game will also go to 2-0 in league play and stay tied atop the conference. Muskingum's at Capital. Wilmington is in Westerville to play Otterbein. And as I mentioned, Mount Union Marietta just underway as well. Shot clock and game clock are pretty much even here. 12 seconds left first quarter. Gosh, John Carroll's offense a bit disjointed. This is unlike them. They really haven't looked all that sharp. They've been okay, but certainly not as sharp as we're used to seeing. Storner launches it down the field, and time expires.
First quarter with the score. Baldwin Wallace 2, John Carroll 1.
So 1 quarter in the books. It is BW 2, John Carroll 1. Yellow Jackets took the lead on the opening possession. Scored a second before they gave up the first goal of the game. And they have led here from wire to wire thus far. We'll take a quick timeout. Second quarter action coming up next. You're watching Baldwin Wallace Lacrosse on BWYellowJackets.com.
Or visit sports-health.org to learn more. Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine, proud medical provider for Baldwin Wallace University athletics and its student athletes.
Now welcome back on BWYellowJackets.com. Start of the second quarter. Baldwin Wallace and John Carroll. Tight game so far, 2-1. Jackets out front. If you've just tuned in, I'm Brendan Gulick. Thanks for hanging out for a little while tonight. Joe Storner and John Gaglio both have played admirably. Seen a total of 9 shots in this game, 4 for BW, 5 for JCU. Tanner Gill-Snow scored for the Streaks. Jonas Aquila and Kyler Byerly put one in for BW. Right now, Byerly's goal is the difference on a sloppy turnover from JCU. He raced up the left side of the field, cut back in. Flag flew on what certainly would have been a penalty for John Carroll on a bad defensive effort. They put it in anyways. So it's 2-1. Teams switch sides of the field, so the Streaks now defending off to the right as BW attacks down this way. Get the impression, oh boy, what a lucky bounce. I mean, could things have worked out any better? Bennett Trout takes care of it, puts it home. Thank you very much. Everybody converges. Somehow that ball squirts out in the perfect direction where Trout's just standing right in the crease. It's 1-on-1. Good night. That is unbelievable good fortune. I'm sorry I don't have the benefit of showing you a replay here this evening, but that was really good for the Jackets. You'd rather be lucky than good, but you certainly need the skill set to capitalize when you get chances like that. And in games of this magnitude, you got to take advantage. Good diving effort from behind. Hopefully, BW's okay. Nate Hoover, beg your pardon, Zach Soule a little slow to get up, and referees are holding off play here for a moment just to make sure Zach's all right. I give John Carroll a lot of credit after getting beat. It was a long run from Soule. Former Strongsville Mustang back on his feet. He's all right. 3-1, the brown and gold out front. And play resumes. Another good job forcing a turnover in the midfield. Here come the Jackets as the defense retreats. Pass from Bartos to Nanoski had a little heat behind it and then caught Jake off guard a bit. 2 minutes gone in the second quarter. Glad you're with us here in Berea tonight. Shadows casting across the field, but at 7:25 local time, there's still plenty of daylight before the lights will really take effect. Nanoski turns the corner, and boy, did he get whacked hard. Michael Bevington just drilled him. This is as physical a rivalry game, frankly, as I've seen between these two teams the last couple years. Good interception. Fantastic from Randall, who feeds Aquila. Jonas tried to bounce one home and missed wide right. I mean, don't kid yourself, right? These two teams don't necessarily like each other. As JCU calls a timeout. But I am really impressed with the physicality from both sides. Low-scoring game, but it's a good one. 12:16 left in the first half. Jackets lead at 3-1.
Women's track and field thrower Brooke Buchanan of Collins, Ohio, on being named the OAC Field Athlete of the Week for the 4th time in her career. Congratulations to Brooke Buchanan. And BW would also like to congratulate sophomore All-OAC Women's Track and Field runner Abby Collier of Dublin, Ohio, on being named the OAC Runner of the Week for the 1st time in her career. Congratulations, Abby Collier.
All right, back to action after the timeout. 1 left for John Carroll, 2 left for the Jackets. First timeout of the game just called there. We've got 12 minutes to go in the first half. Good quick action, and the ball rings off the top of the bar. Oh, gosh, it was a great play drawn up. And Bennett Trout hits the crossbar, and it ricochets away. Tough break for BW, who was that close to going to a 4-1 lead. Trying the left side. Good tough defense as Hinkson tried to make his way to his right. Beg your pardon, that was actually Sheely. Ball pops straight up in the air near the cage. Goes to JCU. Oh, Tony Tatro racing down the sideline, barking at the official, saying that John Carroll threw it out of bounds. Boy, he is irate. The Streaks will take possession. Goalkeeper Gaglio runs all the way across the midfield line. I mean, that was clear offsides, was it not? Yeah, okay. I have no idea how that flag wasn't thrown earlier, but it wasn't. Anyways, get a ground ball here, scooped up by the Streaks and then dropped. Hooks him. A nice little shot there from Bartos. Physical game, but fairly clean. Only 1 penalty per side so far that's actually been whistled and racked up on the box score. Had 1 additional foul that was waved off on a goal. And over the last few minutes here, BW offensively has certainly been the better side. They've taken more shots and had more opportunities in general. 10.5 minutes to go in the first half. Shot from the left side. Misses down and away. Neil Randall. Not a bad miss, though. Jackets with 13 ground balls. Only 6 for John Carroll. We've also had 21 combined turnovers, which is kind of a lot considering where we are in the game at the moment. Give you an idea. John Carroll, let's see, they only had 104 turnovers in their first 6 games of the year. So they are way above pace with 11 already. Jackets scoop it up. 10 on the shot clock. Got to get moving. Byerly tried to cut away. His pass got knocked out of his stick. Yikes. The offense a little clunky there. And again, credit to John Carroll's defense. Both teams have buckled down when they needed to defensively. Gaglio gives it up right side. Caress gets across midfield. Another turnover for JCU, and you could hear some of the groaning from John Carroll fans below. A bit frustrating. Tim Plyler, sophomore from Meadville, Pennsylvania. He's running off here. Offense settles back in. Goals in the game from Jonas Aquila, Bennett Trout, and Tanner Gill-Snow. And Kyler Byerly also scored for the Jackets. 3-1 BW, 8.5 to go first half. This is certainly one of the games at the beginning of the year always circled on the schedule. Not just between these two teams, but around the conference. It's a great rivalry, but in men's lacrosse, they have been the 2 best teams pretty much year after year. Looking for a game that hopefully is worthy of that distinction. Byerly shot nowhere close. Stays down here, 15 seconds to shoot, 8:04 to play first half. And Trout has to go pick it up on the sideline. Bennett gives it up. Good double team. Sheely across. Nothing doing. Another shot clock violation. Alexander Sykes. What's he want to do with it? Flings it to the far side. John Carroll had trouble actually pulling that in. But Dugan eventually hangs on. Gil Snow gives it up. Lombardo stopped a couple times. Spins past the defender, takes a good shot. What a great save. Joe Storner was ready. Hauled it in and held it. More than halfway through the second quarter. Jackets successfully clear it. BW's clear game has been rock solid so far, 8 of 8. Roscoff comes off the field. All right. Gieselhart. Timeout, BW. Tony Tatro recognizing that possession right now is super valuable and didn't feel like his offense has clicked very well the last few minutes. So the Jackets take their first timeout. We'll step aside two real quick. 6:19 to go here in the first half. It's 3-1 BW.
Antonio's Pizzeria in Middleburg Heights, Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine, BSN Sports and Nike, Barron's Bus Line, Mike's Bar and Grill, Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, Medical Mutual of Ohio, and the Oswald Company.
Well, the Jackets have the ball after the timeout. 6:19 to play in the first half. And as we resume, Jake Nanoski gives it up. Nate Hoover holding. Something's got to give for one of these two teams offensively. The defenses have been the name of the game here these last, probably almost 15 minutes total of gameplay. That's a great design and a perfect opportunity, but Nanoski misses wide left, even on a high percentage look after a good feed from Aquila. John Carroll's defense holds strong as the shot was forced a little wide of the target. Now only 5 on the shot clock. This has to come quick. Aquila gets it off in time, but just misses low and away. 3-1 BW. The Jackets have now taken 11 shots out of the last 13 shots in this game. Nanoski helps make one come free. Byerly's shot toward the top right corner. Pulled in by Gaglio. Here comes the goalkeeper for the Streaks. All the way up the field. Oh, and his pass mishandled. Let's see how quickly BW can respond. Admittedly, I admire the aggressive nature there. Taking it himself up the middle, trying to make one, maybe 2 passes before a shot. Sometimes your transition game can help when your offense is a little stale. John Carroll's been doing an awful lot of defending. Under 5 to go in the second quarter, 3-1. Baldwin Wallace out front. JCU's won 5 in a row. Jackets have won 7 straight. Looking in front. Trout couldn't get free. 35 seconds, Aquila. Good, perfect pass. Bennett Trout standing wide open on the backside, and he just lays it in. 4-1.
Goal is by number 7, Bennett Trout. Assist by number 2, Jonas Aquila.
So it's a 2-goal game for Bennett Trout. Jonas Aquila with 1 goal, 1 assist. And the Jackets have a 4-1 lead over John Carroll. That was really good footwork. Tiptoeing that line. Now the Jackets will hang tough to it. Nanoski making a charge at the cage with some open space in front of him. See if Jake can steal one. And maybe got a little greedy there. Gaglio zings it ahead. Hine working with Sykes. Now Morrissey in the left corner. Pretty unusual for John Carroll to have just 1 goal this late in the first half. Perfect opportunity in the slot. Shot from Tanner. Down and away and misses. Another good defensive effort. BW's defensive group has been really good, even by their standards tonight. Arguably having one of their best performances of the season. We're at 2:49 left in the opening half. Again, John Carroll coming off of a 26-2 win over Wilmington. So it's not a lack of firepower. Frankly, this has a lot more to do with BW being a really good team than it does, any condemnation of JCU's ability. Stays down here 31 on the timer. 2:19 before halftime. Trout rolls right. Nanoski looking for that lane, just can't find it. Aquila. He's usually trigger happy. Good patience. Hoover rolls left, wants to shoot across his body, and it ricochets off a defender. Shot clock resets after Ciceri pulls it in. Jackets settle into a ride. Man, oh man. John Carroll is sloppy in the midfield. Byerly going to try to make it hurt. Good save. That's a huge save, really, from Gaglio. 5-1 feels a lot different than 4-1. BW's defense back to work here with 1:20 left in the first half. You can tell John Carroll feels the urgency, valuing this possession, trying to get back to within 2. Final minute of the first half. Lobs behind the cage.
Under 1
Morrissey
minute
holds.
in the first half.
Might remember last year in the regular season, the Blue Streaks were shut out in the first quarter when they hosted BW in the regular season. Also, John Carroll, a pretty low-scoring first half in that NCAA tournament game they went on to win as the shots pulled in by Storner. 23 seconds, Jackets with numbers. To the left, good rotation, but great job defensively locking down. 12 seconds. And an offside call on BW. Oh, that's a sloppy mistake. They gave away a golden chance. 7 seconds. Caress has it yard free. Byerly takes his shot, but it was well measured by Gaglio. So we had some drama here toward the end of the first half, but it ultimately did not wind up in a goal. Good defense from both sides. The Jackets, I know they're only up 3 on the scoreboard, but frankly, they've been the far superior team on both ends of the field, outshooting John Carroll 20-8. BW's gotten 2 goals from Bennett Trout with an assist, a goal apiece from Jonas Aquila and Kyler Byerly. Tanner Gilsnow, the only scorer for John Carroll. All right, we'll step aside during halftime. Come on back in about 10 minutes. As they wind the clock here in Berea, we'll give you a live streaming second half coverage coming up shortly. BWYellowJackets.com.
Visit us at oeconnection.com.
Fans are reminded to attend or tune in every other Monday night at 7:30 p.m. for the Athletics Roadshow, live from Mike's Bar and Grill in downtown Berea. The show will recap and preview Yellow Jacket events, as well as interview coaches and student athletes. Once again, that is the Athletics Roadshow, live from Mike's Bar and Grill on every other Monday night at 7:30 p.m. The BW Athletic Department would like to thank its supporters: Antonio's Pizzeria in Middleburg Heights, Cleveland Clinic Sports Medicine, BSN Sports and Nike, Barron's Bus Line, Mike's Bar and Grill, Chuck Rotuno and OE Connection LLC, Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, Medical Mutual of Ohio, and the Oswald Company.
All right, we are ready to start the second half as the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets put together a very impressive first half performance against their crosstown rival, the John Carroll Blue Streaks. Brendan Gulick back with you. Thanks for joining us tonight. It sure has been fun watching BW play as well as they've played. John Carroll had a really tough offensive first half. Last year, they only scored one goal in the first quarter of their NCAA tournament game against North Central. They were tied at 1 at the end of that quarter, but the Streaks, with 3 goals in the second quarter, took a 4-1 lead to halftime there and rolled to an 11-3 win. But it has been a long time since BW was held to 1 goal in just the entire first half of a game. Really impressive performance by BW on this side. JCU takes his first shot of the half. Wide open and a successful strike. Tanner Gill-Snow threads the needle from the right wing, shooting across the face of the goal. Berdziak with the assist. And we've got a 4-2 ball game, 1 minute into the start of the second half. All right, back to work. The Jackets can be a little cleaner. It's going John Carroll's way. Referee holds up play for a moment. And here we go. If nothing else, John Carroll's got to be just a little bit more focused on the offensive end. I thought they were really sloppy at times, dropping, well, frankly, some easy passes. In a lot of ways, I'm sure they went into halftime feeling like they're not that far away, and they've been their own undoing at times, while BW sits there and says, look, we've leaned on our defense all year, and that continues to be the strong point. Let's keep trying to capitalize when we get chances. They've had a couple of really good quick transition chances, one of which resulted in a goal. Lombardo gives it up. Berdziak's a big figure lurking right in the middle. See if JCU can get him the ball. Shot clock's at 25. Lombardo running away from the defense here. Just sprinting past the defense. Took a good hit. Berdziak keeps it in this end. 5 to shoot. Low shot. Was at least got something off for Morrissey. Not particularly threatening, though, as Storner scooped it up. And here comes BW. Last game of the month of March for either one of these sides. Trying to close out the month in style and keep their respective winning streaks going. 7 straight for B-Dub. John Carroll at 5 in a row. I also kind of like the fact that these guys are playing early in the season against each other this year, because they are certainly 2 of the 3 best teams in the conference. And it would be fun if they could meet up again later in the year. Aquila takes the shot, but couldn't have thrown it any more directly right at Gaglio. Bennett Trout trying to mess with him a little bit. Jackets with the takeaway. BW trying to be patient here and get a look that they want. 11 minutes to go, third quarter. They lead by 2. That's a crafty little play. The ball bounced favorably for BW. Byerly holds for a moment. Aquila. Somewhere along the way, BW is going to have to attack. 30 to shoot. Jonas eventually gives up. Nanoski rolling left. Oh, he had a window and didn't pull it. Back to Jonas. Aquila, low bouncing shot. Gaglio scoops it up and quickly rids the danger. Connor Ryan, the long stick defenseman, lost it. Here come the Jackets again. Gieselhart, good pass. Tried to set a screen, but probably got in Bennett Trout's way more than he actually helped him. So the Jackets will hold and, frankly, will kill some more time. A little over 5 minutes gone in the second half. John Carroll got an early goal this half from Tanner Gill Snow. Second of the game, the only 2 for JCU. One-on-one, that was pretty good from Ciceri, defending against Bame. And another one that kind of squirrels away. BW has doubled up John Carroll on the shot chart, 23 to 11. Jackets have also successfully cleared 12 times. JCU's only 13 of 18. That is not great, and certainly unlike them. Sheely, I think he's played well tonight. Really wants to go right, though. Ooh, a little behind-the-back flick. Oh, the shot goes off the bar. That would have been unbelievable. Sheely to Ferguson with a great pass, and Olin couldn't quite pinpoint bring it home. And Olin says, hey, let's slow up and be smart about this with that reset shot clock. Sheely shimmies. Ferguson back to his left. Shot comes across the face of the goal. Another good save from Gaglio. Bame put it on target, but John Gaglio is playing really well tonight. Senior from Webster, New York. Gaglio says, all right, fine, I'll take it myself. Since JCU's had so much trouble clearing, a couple times now Gaglio has crossed the midfield line. In fact, once. The rest of the defense was not in the same breath. They were called for an offsides. Under 8 minutes to go, third quarter. John Carroll trying to use some spacing to their advantage. Good low shot. Max Cook. But a better save. I'm not entirely sure it would have gone in. It was close. Third quarter's halfway expired. JCU trying to add a little pressure as Aquila fights his way across midfield. Jonas blows by the defense. Byerly. And now BW gets a new group out there to set up. Hoover. Aquila back near side. Gieselhart wants so bad to shoot it. Takes that shot. Oh, he scores! Reich and Gieselhart, bottom corner.
That's number 50, Reich and Geiselhart.
Gaglio was screened by his defender, and he couldn't react quickly enough as the low shot snuck past his outstretched leg. The Jackets back up 3 at 5-2. .6:44 to go, third quarter. Good response from Baldwin Wallace. Flags flying everywhere with lots of contact. All right, so the foul is on the Jackets. .6:34 to play, third quarter. And John Carroll will bring its man advantage group out there. How are they going to play with a man up? Berdiziak working with Morrell. Couple passes back and forth. Tanner's on the left side. Matt again. Morrell's got an opening, wants to step up into it. Had the window for a second. Jacket defense rotating nicely. Berdiziak was there, and Aquila ran across the face of Storner. Good shot. But BW probably made that harder on itself than they needed to. So JCU brings it to 5-3. When Aquila ran across to try to mark somebody, he disrupted Storner's vision for a second, and that was enough to give Berdiziak's shot the chance to sneak by. Good third quarter. Both teams with a couple critical goals. John Carroll scored twice in the third to get this back to a 2-goal game, surrendering just the one. It is John Carroll ball. All right, JCU clears it. Here we go. You know, the blue and gold fans that made their way across town starting to believe a little bit. A lot of games still in front of us. 5:35 left, third quarter. Rematch of the last couple of OAC championships. It's been lower scoring than those games, but it has certainly been fun. Another sloppy, self-inflicted wound. Here come the Jackets. Nanoski holding it low. The ball goes flying up into the night sky. Jarred free from Connor Ryan. John Carroll hangs tough. Gaglio, good awareness. Pulling that away as he could feel the pressure coming. Matt Russo Wow. That went out of bounds. I have never seen a John Carroll team struggle the way this team is struggling. Flag on the near side, and the way and in the manner that it was thrown makes you think it's probably on John Carroll. BW's got the streaks all razzled right now. Matt Russo talking with Joe Rautenstruck. The foul is indeed on Russo. Good work from Adam Blos, forcing that turnover. 5-3 BW. 4:51 on the timer. Jackets a man up. Byerly to his right. This is Nanoski dishing off. Trout back to Jake. Stepping in. Bame scores! Brendan Hine frustrated with his positioning. And the Blue Streaks paid for it. Hunter Bame. 6-3 BW. The foul was officially a delay of game. And that opened the door for the Yellow Jackets to push the lead back to 3. BW's going to take it off the whistle there. All right. About 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Hunter Bame's goal extends the Yellow Jacket lead to 6-3. Good look up top. Shealy rings it off the bar. Talk about a ricochet. It went all the way back past midfield on the fly. It's a good 45 yards in the air that ball ricocheted. A couple of tough checks. I know there's been some grumbling from fans, but actually I think the referees have done a nice job of letting these guys play. It's a physical rivalry game, and it's going to have some toughness tested on both sides for sure. I think it's been pretty well officiated. Only been a couple of little things that I didn't necessarily love, but for the most part, been a good, clean, fun night. 3:07 and counting third quarter. Lombardo just holding, waiting to see who's going to go where. Away from the ball there. A little miscommunication between Max Cook and Morgan Morrell. Boy, Carroll is a little hesitant right now. Berdiziak goes back. Wow, what a good shot. Better save. Lombardo looking for the top corner, and Storner was more than ready. 2:35 and counting. We are late in the third quarter. BW has never trailed. Adam Blos has been awesome. He and Randall help bring it across. Noah Bartos is playing well too. And now Aquila steps onto the field. Richie Roskoff into the offensive end. To his right, Hoover. Aquila. Jonas shoots across the defense. Barely misses wide right. Almost hit Jake Caress on the way. Shot clock's at 18. The Jackets thought they could sneak a quick one and then almost did. Gieselhart misses from point-blank range. That one will give him nightmares. Shot clock's at 12. The Jackets keep it. And BW just dumps it down. Well, we'll see if John Carroll can close the third quarter on a good note. Get it across midfield. Final minute. Shot clock really not part of the factor here. It's about 3 seconds beyond the third quarter game clock. BW's defense forcing John Carroll to work wide a lot. Berdiziak. Boy, he was really pestered. Good defense from Jonas Aquila. 10 seconds. Clock restarts. Great defense. How about that work from Declan Tubbs? The Jackets love it. Baldwin Wallace 6, John Carroll 3. Fourth quarter coming up next from Berea. Jackets trying to knock off their crosstown rival. Well, fourth quarter's upon us in Berea. Baldwin Wallace 6, John Carroll 3. One of the lowest scoring games in recent memory for a John Carroll team that, again, is among the most efficient offensive teams in the country. They came in with the second best shooting percentage nationally, but they've been held to just 3 goals on the night in 16 shots. Baldwin Wallace's defense has been fantastic. Jackets will start this quarter down on the offensive end. Trying to hang tough, Bennett Trout. Back up top to Aquila. Byerly. Owen Ferguson's done his job well tonight. This is Keaton Trout. Shot from the left side, too high. Good idea from Olin, but not quite. But it did graze off the bar. So the shot clock resets. If nothing else, the Jackets can continue to be patient and look for the chances that they really want to take. It's the benefit of having the lead here late. Aquila. Ferguson. Good low save. Olin trying to keep with it, force a turnover. The Jackets do get it back. John Carroll cannot clear successfully tonight with any routine. How about that goal? Unbelievable! (7-3) BW. Falling to the ground, flinging it over his shoulder. Waiting for confirmation on who scored. I think it may have been Keaton Trout. Either way, BW's persistence. Well, it was an assist to Keaton. Bennett scored the goal. So the Trout brothers get it done there. That was awesome. 7-3, biggest lead of the game for the Brown and Gold. Another unforced error that turns it over for John Carroll. Low point of the year offensively for JCU last year was 5 goals in an 11-5 loss against Denison. Trying to go back and take a look here historically because Baldwin Wallace is doing to JCU what pretty much nobody does. The season prior, their worst performances were 9-goal efforts. Fewest goals they scored in a game back in 2019. They had 5 goals against RIT in the second round of the NCAA tournament when they lost pretty decisively 20-5. BW trying to keep up the pressure here. Well, obviously still some game to go as BW can't really get a great look down here. But looking back through the entire schedule in John Carroll's program history, the last time they scored fewer than 5 goals in a game was in a 4-3 win in the season opener in 2015. They beat Concordia, Wisconsin 4-3. And right now they're sitting on only 3. And considering the pride and tradition of this JCU program, it is pretty remarkable that they've been held in check the way they have tonight. Such an impressive defensive effort from Baldwin Wallace. This is as good as I've ever seen the Yellow Jackets play defense. Been a lot of fun tonight, but a lot of game left regardless of the score. 4 goals really isn't that big of a difference. Both these teams know how quickly they're capable of scoring. But I'll tell you right now, this game has an NCAA tournament feel to it. And it's awesome for these guys to have this chance in late March like this. Baldwin Wallace tried to shovel one home. It didn't really come with much velocity. There is some noticeable frustration coming from John Carroll's fans. Excellent work. Great defense, Neil Randall. Nine, 10, and counting. Somewhere along the way, if John Carroll's going to make a run, their defense is going to have to get a bit more aggressive, and maybe that's where BW can capitalize. Right now, the Jackets have the luxury of time, playing with a ton of energy. Aquila trying to go right, shoots back across his body. A highlight reel goal for Jonas Aquila.
Jonas Aquila with the goal for Baldwin Wallace.
8-3 Jackets with just over 8.5 minutes to play. And while there is still plenty of game left, a 5-goal difference with BW's playing defense playing the way they are. That goal sent quite a message. Maybe the OAC is going to run through Berea this year. Whistle blows. Foul on BW. And so, John Carroll settles in. Ohio Northern already pounded Heidelberg earlier today, 18-1. So in terms of what's going on around the conference, the winner of this game trying to keep pace and would be tied atop the OAC at 2-0. Get a whistle there away from the ball. Bad screen. The Jackets take it back. Latest score from Bexley. Capital 9, Muskingum 5, early 4th. In Westerville, Otterbein blowing out Wilmington 15-1, start of the 4th quarter. Gaglio gets over midfield. This could be disastrous. Gaglio, a foul from behind. At least it slowed up play. Mount Union leads Marietta 8-7. They're early in the 4th quarter. But this is the game, I think even more than Ohio Northern beating up Heidelberg. This is the game that has a lot of people's attention. That's definitely a foul on Tubbs. Went a little too high and aggressive there. And now we get more flags flying. Sheely. Sheely's trying to tell Tim Plyler to get out of here. Plyler and Tubbs both going to take a knee. That definitely hurts BW. We'll find out how they officially rule these penalties. See if they're non-releasable. Well, one of them definitely is. All right, so the Jackets are going to find out just how good they are in a 6-on-4. Clock says 7:23. Here we go. Morrell starts us. Berdiziak back to Morgan. Just passing back and forth. Gil Snow a couple of goals. Berdiziak dumps it underneath. That's an easy goal. And 6-on-4, he should dip one home like that. Colin Morrissey rolls it home. 8-4.
John Carroll goals by number 13, Colin Morrissey. Assist credited to number 22, Matt Berdiziak.
Yep. You got to keep your cool. Declan Tubbs, after getting called for the cross check, stuck over on the sideline at the moment, putting some pressure on BW here. Got to do everything possible if you're BW to win, and they do not win the face-off. Timeout, John Carroll. And if you're a Blue Streak fan watching, all of a sudden you feel some serious life. 6:55 to go, fourth quarter. Timeout in Berea. Jackets lead at 8-4, but some momentum for the blue and gold. All right, back on BWYellowJackets.com. John Carroll trailing 8-4, but they've got the ball offensively, having just scored in a 6-on-4. Baldwin Wallace stuck in a non-releasable situation. Good work there. Jackets had a couple of one-minute penalties. One was a cross-check. One was unnecessary roughness on Loudon Peters. Cross-check penalty on Tubbs has kept him in there. Good job by Aquila there. That's a clean hit. I guess not. Now the flags come out. Boy, those were two pretty late flag tosses, but they came in unison with one another after Aquila thought he had a clean hit. .620 left in regulation. So John Carroll benefiting here from some Baldwin Wallace self-inflicted mistakes. Shot clock supposed to reset, and finally does. There's a shot just left of the cage, stays down here. Good find in front, better defense. Randall and Bartos got over in time right when it looked like JCU was going to take a shot. The defense is going to have to hold strong still. Shot clock reset to 80, and there are some BW fans pretty ticked off by that. JCU. Morgan Morrell. Loose in front. Storner's over. Storner takes it. Good job by Joe Storner. Approaching 5 minutes to go. And amidst all this turmoil, Baldwin Wallace still leads 8-4. That was a long, gutsy pass up the field. Picked off nice. Ciceri with a really good little scoop there. Aquila running with him. Jonas came back on after having to sit for 30. Flags fly again. Another BW penalty incoming. Can the Blue Streaks take advantage? And they wisely choose to dump it away so that the penalty will be enforced. The entire coaching staff was screaming to throw it out of bounds there. Well, the Jackets sure aren't making this easy on themselves late, are they? After 45 minutes of stellar defense, the last 10 minutes have been rather rocky. Right now, the lead doesn't feel in jeopardy. You lead by 4 with 4.5 minutes to go, but they've got to get over these extra man opportunities first. Gil Snow back up top. Morrell to the right, receives it again. Berdiziak back to Morrell. Gil Snow back to Morrell. Morgan looking for that window, can't find it. That's really good work. Tanner Gil Snow, low shot, great save. Storner ready for it. Baldwin Wallace's man-down defense stepping up big time. And now it's Aquila. And as the Yellow Jackets settle into a spot where they could really kill some clock here, if John Carroll wants to make a late push, they have got to start getting aggressive defensively because there's only 3.5 minutes left. They're going to run out of time unless they try to force turnovers. Aquila. Back to Hoover. Jonas with 25 to shoot. Tosses behind the cage. Bennett Trout, good little shimmy. Looking for help, 10 seconds to shoot. The shot comes and misses wide right. Stays here for 6 seconds. BW just decides, hey, mission accomplished, no goal needed. 2:44, here we go. Gaglio. All the way across the field. Good pressure. Jackets trying to step up. Well done from behind. Can't defend it better than that. 2:20 to go. Baldwin Wallace starting to realize they're going to win this game over their crosstown bitter rivals. We knew coming in it was probably going to be a pretty good defensive effort. Both teams pretty capable offensively. But the reality is, when you play defense as hard as both of these sides do, it was going to take something pretty special to put up a big offensive performance. Either way. And as things have turned out tonight, again, I said early, these two teams definitely playing the kind of game that has an NCAA tournament feel to it. Baldwin Wallace is going to win an 8th in a row. We get to 8-2. That one hit the outside of the net, no goal. John Carroll is looking like they're going to lose for the first time since their season opener against Roanoke. Approaching the final minute. Again, it's been since the opening game of the 2015 season that John Carroll has only scored 4 goals.
1 minute remaining in the game. 1 minute.
Morrissey was in trouble. Pass not held well. Cook feeling some pressure. Here come the Jackets. Bartos sprinting up the field. Shot clock's irrelevant here. BW can just hold it out. Well, I know BW went across town last year, and with Olin Ferguson's goal with 3.5 minutes to play, maybe had their most exciting win over their bitter rivals in quite some time. But tonight might just be the most impressive win in this series history for BW. Never trailed. And an incredible effort. 8-4 the final. Baldwin Wallace knocks off John Carroll. So BW goes to 8-2. They are 2-0 in conference play. The Jackets fall to 5-2. Yellow Jackets beat John Carroll for the 6th time in program history. They are now 6-8 all time in the crosstown rivalry. And for the 2nd consecutive year in the regular season, BW has knocked off its arch rival. Congratulations on a great defensive effort for the Jackets. And BW will try to keep this thing rolling here this coming weekend. All right, we'll have plenty more coverage for you all season long. Thanks for joining us tonight. For all the latest, be sure to check out bwyellowjackets.com. I'm Brendan Gulick. Have a great rest of the night. One more time, your final score, BW 8, John Carroll 4. Have a good night, everybody.